Today, I thought I will speak a little bit about my approach to somatics, especially since I tend to work a lot with clients who experience complexity, which means their adverse life experience is not a one moment, one instance, one accident, but it is something that was over a long period of time. If you want to listen to my approach in the other two modalities that I integrate, that is the psychodrama and the creative arts, I'll link the video here so you can go after witnessing this into that. I think what is really important for me is that our body is more than the nervous system. And while in the world today, there is a lot known about, let's say, the polyvagal theory or the way our vagus nerve interacts or how our activation, dysregulation is beyond the brain. It's really in the neural network. Sometimes, as practitioners, we limit ourselves to that area. There's also a way that we simplify everything about the body and make it biteable, bite size in either thinking just about the brain or just about the nervous system, our senses. But it's much more than that. If you think about the embryo and how the embryo gets formed from one cell, the same cell multiplies and then divides and then makes us this form and has multiple organs, and every organ has a place, every bone has a place, every muscle has a place, and they all communicate and interact with each other. There are layers of communication, layers of responses. All of that is really important. But in my work, what I pay attention to is the relational space, the relationship between the body with the other. This could be another person, the therapist in the room, the chair, the ground. What happens in the space between? I also pay attention to the interconnection, the place where the muscle meets the bone, or the place of the joints where multiple bones might meet each other. There may be a cartilage. And this is more a metaphor of how we move our body, how our body is moved. How do we interact in relation to weight? Where is the weight in the body? Where does weight go when we are under distress? What happens to balance? What happens to our ability to see clearly or hear? What are we listening to? How loud is the volume at which we're listening? And also, what happens, what's not being done? A few things when we relate to the world of emotion and the body. One of the main areas that is really important is the voice and how voice is lost. The authentic voice doesn't come forward. The sounds are muted, or it feels like only certain kinds of sounds can come out and not all sounds. So, this becomes really important. The other thing that I bring attention to is trust. In some of the more popular somatic languaging, we focus a lot on safety, and embodied safety is really important, but it's also very deeply linked to trust. When I walk on the ground, do I trust the ground? Can I put all of my toes down? Can I put pressure on all of the toes instead of just the one or two toes? Do I lift up through my heel? Do I not hold on to what's behind me? And even if there's a wall behind me, I tend to not receive the wall. And all of these aspects are about trust. And as you can imagine, if something has happened over a long period of time, trust is lost both in myself, my abilities, my creativity, my spontaneity, but trust is lost in the world. And this reflects in how we hold our body, how we relate to our body, how our body copes in the absence of feeling connection, knowing that the ground that I am traversing is predictable, that this experience will stay and not disappear, or that I will not be left alone. I think what's really important is interconnection. How is the voice connected to trust? How is the trust connected to safety? How is safety connected to predictability? And how does that appear in terms of the bodyscape, body landscape? What happens in the ways we think about ourselves? And therefore, I don't start with an idea of what it should look like. This is not an exercise we're doing. We're actually bringing sacredness to our body. We're listening and we are noticing the amazing ways in which our body has responded in the ways that it has. And everybody is different, and everybody has responded and explored their difficulty in different ways. I feel like my work is very specific, and I have trained with people who understand developmental parts of the body. For example, I really liked Pat Ogden's method. I really enjoyed Ruella Frank and Bonnie Bainbridge Cohen. I have a really great admiration for Maretta, who has worked a lot with hypoarousal. So I have gone really into people who similarly are focusing on complexity and trying to understand it from a place of multiplicity rather than isolating it to the one thing. I hope this helps you to understand my work and my focus. And if you have any more questions about what I do and how it may feel in sessions, write to me. I might be offering some workshops for people in the near future. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.